And dialing in. Cool. Just give everyone a moment or two. How is everyone doing on this Tuesday today? And I'm just going to go check over on Facebook too. Over on Facebook, I can't see you guys if you are tuning in live. So please just, put a comment in there. Kathy, I saw you give it a likes. So I'm assuming you're watching live today, which is awesome. Cool, cool. Let me know where you guys are at and how everything is going on this Tuesday. All right. All right. Great. All right. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hey, Vicky. Good to see you. Good to see you. Gainesville, Florida. Ooh, nice. Karen from Massachusetts. Hey, Karen. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Carolyn. Hey, missed yesterday. Carolyn King from Denver. No worry, Carolyn. I did send an email with all of the replays on a replay page, so you guys can all grab them there. And you can always catch them up inside the Facebook group as well. They'll be up in the Facebook group till the end of the week, and they'll be up on that page until probably like Monday or so. So definitely make sure to grab any of the pieces that you missed. Morning, everyone, from Fumi from Calgary. Calgary. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, Jeff, I see your hand raised. I don't know if that's intentional or if that was an accident. Uh, if you if you did want to say something, feel free to unmute yourself, Jeff. Otherwise, I will maybe like put your hand down. I don't even know how to do that, but I'll figure that out. Hey, Bailey from Madison. We got from Houston, Texas. Hello, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Good, good, good. Cool. Great to see everyone. Hey, Kathy, you're here. Hey, Cassie. Kathy and Cassie over on Facebook. Good to see you both. Great. Cool. Well, I think we've got, well, I'll let people in as they're coming in. But we can dive on into today. Jeff, I am going to just like unraise your hand. Again, if you did intentionally do that, feel free to just like throw something in the comments or something. I'm trying to watch the comments as we're doing this. Great. All right. Well, good to see you guys today on this beautiful Tuesday. Yesterday I was so like pumped from leaving our session because you guys were so engaged. I love that. And even today, like these sessions, I love to do them live because we get to actually have live interactions, which in an online world, I know that can be challenging. So it's really, really great when you guys are interacting, when we're connecting and communicating. I saw a lot of questions come through yesterday on the chat when we were live, and then over in the Facebook group, over in the DMs as well. So that's amazing. That is what this is all about. I'm here all week to support you guys in this, and we're all in this together, right? Like, I know sometimes running a business of any kind can feel kind of lonely, especially a food business, because there are so many nuances that other people don't experience in their business. So you guys are in a room with a whole bunch of other food founders today, and you're in a community over on the Facebook group with literally over 1,000 other food founders. So definitely this is where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be hanging out with other food founders. They always say like you are the accumulation of the 5 people you hang out with. Well, you guys are hanging out with a whole bunch of other food founders right now who are committed to growing their business as well. Hence why you guys are all here, right? We talked yesterday about you all wearing so many different hats in your food business. And this week is all about putting on that CEO hat so that you can look at things from a high level and you can really figure out what your business needs to take it to the next level. And I always like to remind everyone that that next level for you, it might be the same as someone right next to you. It might be different from someone that's right next to you. That is okay. We are all on different starting points in this journey. And there are different goals that we might have. What someone might have as a goal for their business might not be appealing for you. So I use that because today I want to dig in a little bit to what are your goals for 2024. But I want you to look at what other people are sharing to, maybe it might push you to be like, oh, maybe that is actually attractive to me too. Maybe I also want that. And also not get caught in this sense of comparison. You are running your race and your, competitor is, anyone trying to like steal your shelf space with a less great product than yours, right? It is not someone else in here. Let that be inspiration. It is so powerful when you can come together with a community of other like-minded food founders and let that encourage you to push yourself and push your business to the next level. But it is never meant to discourage. So I just always want to like caveat that in there. Yeah, Vicky, so true. 100% right. It's hard sometimes to not, but so I just want to remind us there. All right. So loved all the participation yesterday. It was really great. I got a number of messages from people saying how it helps you guys bring a lot of clarity with what you're working on. And lots of you were answering the homework question. So yesterday, our homework question was, what area of your business needs more attention for you to hit your 2024 goals, right? So this was really key, as we talked about yesterday. One of the core pieces to having a successful food business is making sure that we're focusing on areas outside of just our food. So I was loving what I was seeing from you guys. Sharita, focusing in on operational value, streamlining the back of house procedures, packaging upgrades. Karen, operations and marketing. Cassie, inventory management. Chevelle, marketing and advertising. Zakaya, online sales. Sanchita, marketing and advertising. Robert, operations. It was like all over, which was great, because you guys were really getting what we were talking about in terms of this, your business needing your attention across all areas of what you are doing. So I loved seeing that. I hope that sparked some pieces. And I should have asked this before, but as I was reading through this, I was like, yes, I love this. I love that you guys are really getting this. I didn't ask, what are your goals for 2024 that leads into these. So if you guys wouldn't mind sharing those, that would be really helpful for me to understand what are your goals for 2024 as well. Because as you can see, I'm reading all your comments, I'm messaging with you guys back. I want to make sure that if you're saying, hey, this is my goal, and then this is where my business needs support, if I see another opportunity for you that can help you, I want to be able to point that out for you. So if you guys want to share in the chat what your goals are, that's really helpful. Don't be shy. So Sweet Ginger, build brand awareness. Okay, so build brand awareness, get a food business running. Okay, 2 grocery stores, awesome. Great. Where else are we at, guys? I'm going to check over on Facebook too. I feel like Facebook has a tiny delay. So if you guys are putting something there, it takes me sometimes a second to actually see it load. Okay, what else we got here? More online sales, large events, less farmers markets and small events. Awesome. That's great, Bailey. You're wanting to, drive more sales by being able to secure some larger accounts. That's great. What else? Marketing, expansion by getting my own kitchen. Oh, that's exciting. New to the industry, so everything. Yeah. Yeah, trying to soak it all in, Vicky. I love that. That makes a ton of sense. Soak it all in, get everything that you can, maybe land some of those new grocery stores, maybe sell some online, right? So what does that look like? I saw something the other day that said from $0 to $1 in entrepreneurship is like the hardest battle. And, so many people always talk about, getting to your first million is the hardest battle. And yes, that is a massive milestone for so many food businesses and for businesses as a whole. But really making that first dollar is like, whoa, I actually did it. Because how many people actually have an idea and sit on it, right? Maybe some of you guys have even like sat on an idea for years and years and years. And now you're finally like, no, like now is the time. Now I want to do this. I'm actually going to do this. And it takes a heck of a lot of courage to go and start a food business, to start any business. And so, yes, that like $1 is just as monumental as like $1 million or beyond that, right? It is so hard to actually get to that. So many people actually want to start a business, and they never do. So regardless of where you guys are at, you're way ahead of so many other people who have thought about it, right? Where do existing food business owners produce their products? Yeah, we'll dive into that a little bit because there's so many different ways to do that. Some people do it from home, some people do it from a co-packer, some people a commercial kitchen. Hire someone to do my farmers markets. Yeah, that's a great one, Karen. That is really great. That'll free up some time. Vicki, I'm doing in-person deliveries, trying to switch to online shipping. So trying to finalize the packaging and shipping. Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, Cody, good to see you. Good to see you. Cool. Okay. So we've got some good goals in here. That's helpful. What do we see here over on Facebook? Kathy, decide on your product. Yes, yes, yes. And then build brand awareness. Cassie, 75,000 in annual revenue, reached close to 50% of that this year. That's awesome. Great. Okay. So this is really great, guys. We've got some different goals in different areas. This is great to see where you guys are at. Okay. So now that we have that, I'll take note of that. And just if there's anything else I want to build with the goals that you guys had, I will just make sure to maybe send you a DM with some additional thoughts or comment on what you guys have already shared. I've been sending some DMs to some of you just to see where you're at so far with the week. What are you looking for? Trying to figure out what it is that you're really focused on right now so I can make sure that you don't miss any of the sessions that are really important to those specific pieces that you are looking for. So if you haven't seen a note from me, chances are you probably need to like accept a friend request or something from me. Otherwise, I feel like the message just gets lost. So go and check your friend request. There's probably a message from me there so that we can connect there as well. All right. And you guys, a ton of you guys answered the homework question, which was great. I checked right before we went live so we could do a giveaway. Let me share my screen and we're going to do a giveaway. I am going to do today because we're talking about branding, right? So we're talking about branding today, which is one of my favorite pieces to talk about because it is so, so important to building a food brand that sells, a food business that sells, that I am going to give away a copy of my book, Branding Beyond Logos, to today's winner. I know that some of you guys already have that because we've either worked together or you've won this from one of the previous events. So if you end up winning and you already have this, don't worry, I'm going to find another brand building piece to give you. But for everyone else, the book Branding Beyond Logos is what is going to be the giveaway for today. So let's see. Oh, hold on. Zoom is making me like do a password before I share my screen. That's new. Oh, a little technical glitch there. Oh, can you guys see my screen? Okay, you can see my screen. Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see who's going to win a copy of Branding Beyond Logos today. So all you need to do every day is make sure to answer the homework question. You'll be entered into the day's giveaway. We have Sanchita. Sanchita, congratulations. I will connect with you after this and make sure that I get your address and I'll send you a copy of Branding Beyond Logos. And if you prefer the e-book version, I can get that to you as well. So just let me know which one is best for you. So I love the drum roll that you've got there for me. That's great. Yes, I love that. So yeah, I'll be getting that over to you again every single day. I'm doing giveaways. And also reminder, I shared this yesterday that for showing up live every single day this week, if you show up every single day this week live, you are going to be entered to win free 6-month membership inside the Food Founder Inner Circle. So the Food Founder Inner Circle is this community that is with other food founders who are committed to growing their food business. So inside we meet 3 to 4 times a month. And you get live Q&A sessions. You have a live portal where you can ask questions ongoingly. We bring in expert guest sessions. We do monthly planning sessions. And you guys get, like, if you're in that, you also get access to any other, training that I'm doing, any other paid training. You guys always get access to that for free as well. So I'm giving away 1 scholarship into that, which I'm very excited about. I've actually never done before. but I love the Food Founder Inner Circle. I know the food brands that in there get a ton from it. And so I wanted to give away a free membership. So all you got to do is show up every single day this week, and your name will be entered into that. All right. Congrats, Sanchita. All right. Okay. So today is all around branding, right? All around branding. You can go ahead and grab your workbook if you don't have that out. Go ahead and grab that so we can dive right into that. Today, we're going to talk about branding and all around how do you create a food brand that stands out so that you can sell more. I sound like a broken record when I say this. Literally, this book is from 2017, and it's Branding Beyond Logos, Stand Out, Sell More, and Turn Your Customers into Advocates with these 17 brand building elements. This is the piece that I talk about when I say what I teach is not tactics. It is how to go viral on TikTok. It is the fundamental strategies that help you grow your business. So your brand is one of the most important pieces to your business because it is how people know how to connect with you. It is how people know that your brand is for them. It is what gives retailers the confidence to connect with you, to put you on their store shelves. It is what gives distributors, it is what gives co-packers, all of these different people the confidence to work with you in your business. And so I know this is something that we sometimes overlook. And I want to, today, coming out of today's sessions, I want you to really understand why this is a really, really key piece to our business that we really want to have at the forefront, right? I can't remember if I shared, I think I shared a little bit yesterday that before running the Healthy Food and Beverage Group, I spent 10 years working for the really large consumer packaged good companies, Coca-Cola, Campbell's Soup, Ben & Jerry's, Magnum Ice Cream, a ton of these really, really successful food businesses. Let me let you in on a little secret here in the fact that each and every single one of those massively successful food brands, they focus on brand first. Brand is the heart of everything that happens with those businesses. It directs the pricing. Brand directs where they're selling. Brand directs the packaging, the promotions, any partnerships that they are doing. It is like brand is really the heart of your business, and it helps pump that blood out to every other single aspect. And I share that with you so that regardless of what size you are at, you have this opportunity to look at your business and operate at the same way that these multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar food brands, how they run their operations. So if you can start running your operations like that, regardless of what stage you're at, you are light years ahead of other food businesses, right? And we're competing with so many other food businesses out there. We're competing with these multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar food brands on the store shelves, and we're competing with other, startup food brands as well, brands that may be a few steps ahead of us. But what I see time and time again is if you have a really strong brand, you will attract people into what you are doing because that is what people buy. People buy products. They do not buy brands. There's a spot in your workbook for you to write that down because I really want that to sink in with you guys. People buy brands. They don't buy products. This is what people are really exchanging their dollars for, right? At the end of the day, there are so many products on the store shelf that are kind of selling a lot of the same things, right? So why is someone going to choose one brand over another? And that comes down to that brand actually connecting to a very specific person and really connecting emotionally with them, solving a problem for them, like what we talked about yesterday. If you missed yesterday's session where we talked about making sure your product solves the problem, definitely go back and catch that because it's really, really key. But really having a brand that solves a specific problem and connects emotionally with an audience is crucial for the success of your business. So I want to clarify a couple things here. Number one, your brand is not your logo, right? Again, broken record, literally branding beyond logos. It's not our logo, it's not our packaging, it's not our colors or our fonts. Those are a part of our brand, but your brand is so much more than that. I really want you to kind of look at it like the heart of your organization, allowing it to dictate what decisions that you make, right? So is this aligned to how I want my brand to show up in the world? One of the ways that I get people to look at defining their brand is I want you to look at your brand like your brand's going to a party, right? It's the holidays right now. It's the holidays and lots of people going to different parties. And so, you know, think of all the people that maybe are at different types of parties that you're going at, or, you know, any type of party, that New Year's, something like that. There's always these different types of people. There's the person who's like loud and really out there. There's the person with maybe like the raunchy jokes. There's the person who's really like quiet in the corner, likes to have those intimate conversations. There's a person who is just like taking care of everyone else. There's all these different personalities. And that's wonderful. That's what we need in the world, right? It'd be really boring if everyone was the same at the party. And that is the exact same with our brands and with the grocery store shelves. I want you to look at your brand like having a personality, like someone at a party, right? Who would your brand be if it was at a party with all the other food brands that are, you know, competing for that place on the store shelf, or even in a consumer's home, right? Would it be serious? Would it be very sophisticated? Would it be sharing tons of information? Would it be really high level with things? Would it be optimistic? Would it be, you know, really cheeky? Like, what is that personality of your brand? And when you can start to understand that, then you can really have that play out into every other decision that your business makes, right? So I worked with a company that it was interesting. We got to who their brand was a lot from talking with consumers, which is always so key. They're the people that are buying, right? So we were talking with consumers, and the feedback was continuously, these are so addictive. Like, I can't put them down. And that was a really key feedback piece that we got. And we got that the brand was very like in your face, both from how the product tasted and just what people got from the brand. And it was very bold. These were some of the pieces that we started to uncover about the brand as a whole and what aligned to the founder. And so what we did when we were building out his website is we allowed that brand piece to direct us in terms of even how the website would flow. So, you know, oftentimes you go to a website and it's like, oh, you know, buy your, you know, 4-pack, 6-pack. The subscription is like a nice to have option down the road. And we were like, no, people are obsessed with these and they're like literally addicted. It was a very healthy snack. They were like so obsessed with them that we decided, hey, you know what? We are actually going to have all the communication around making this so you need a subscription of this. And that is the default, right? The default is subscription versus just buying a 4-pack or a 6-pack, whatever it may be, because that was aligned with the brand, right? For other products, that might not make sense. But the key here is to figure out what are these core elements of your brand and then have it direct literally everything that your business does, right? If your product is a bit of a rebel, then being in a nice, wholesome shop probably isn't a great fit for you, right? On the flip side, if your brand is very wholesome, you probably don't want to be in a little bit of a controversial type shop, right? And these pieces make a huge difference to retailers saying yes, which we're going to dive in deeper tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to really talk about how to get retailers to say yes. and for shoppers to actually buy. So one of the pieces that I want you to think about as we go into tomorrow is my brand aligned to the retailers I am trying to get into? Because retailers know that brands sell. They know product. I can put 5 different types of products of the exact same thing on my shelf. Why do I need 10 different types of teas, 5 different types of teas, right? Well, because they're all going to connect with a different audience. And that's why they have them there. When we are building our brand, we want to make it so that it is so clear that someone sees your packaging or reads your messaging or, how they interact with your customer service. Again, it's really everything. And we want them to get to a point where they're like, oh my gosh, this brand is for me. This brand gets me, right? That is the point that we want to get at. And when we are really strong and intentional with our brand, we get there. So this is the holiday season, buying gifts for loved ones. For me, I've got 4 sister-in-laws. So I've got 4 sister-in-laws. They are all very different human beings, right? I have an esoteric sister-in-law. I have someone who is really direct, no fluff. I have someone who is very bubbly and very bright. And then I have one who is really like hippie, right? So all very different personalities. And if I wanted to buy them all, let's say tea for Christmas, and I wanted them to be like, Ainsley, this tea is great. You really get me. Thank you. And I want them to really this is great. This is perfect, right? And it could all be the exact same flavor of tea. Then the brand on the outside of that needs to show up differently for all of them to have that emotional connection. That's what we want. So my esoteric sister-in-law, if I got her something with astrology focused, she'd be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you. I have like the tea to go with my sign or with the moon cycle. She'd be like all over that. My sister-in-law, who's like, no fluff, no BS, she would not exactly be as impressed with that as the one who is really into astrology and all of that world, right? Same with my sister-in-law, who is all natural and a little bit hippie-ish. She is going to appreciate something maybe with craft packaging, recycled packaging, reusable packaging, all natural flavors. That's what's going to really connect with her. And the packaging and brand and all of that, that's going to connect with her. Very different than my bright and bubbly sister-in-law, who might enjoy a tea with a little bit of candy cane and some fun fruity flavors and something really bright and maybe a little bit of sparkle and glitter on the packaging, right? So they could all be even the exact same teas, but each of these women would connect differently with what I am giving them because the brand connects with them. And that is where I want you to think with your brand, right? It's easy to think about at the holidays. You're probably having this exact same piece. You're out maybe shopping for people and you're like, who would love this? And you get someone immediately who comes to your mind when you see certain brands. And that's because the brand has done a really great job of communicating the type of person who would love this product, right? So I want you to think about that. That is something that is really, really key when we are building out our brand. Think about that end person at the end of the line for them to be like, oh my gosh, this is perfect for me. And this might be someone who's walking down the grocery store aisle each and every single week, which has been fantastic for you, right? So this is where we want to be able to get there. We obviously need to know really deeply who our target audience is, right? So this is a really, really key piece. If you are not sure who your target audience is, this is one of the first pieces that you really do want to dive into. You want to know who is it that's going to love your product. And it's not everyone, okay? It is not everyone. And I know everyone might enjoy your product, but I want you to think about that example, even with my sister-in-laws. Everyone might enjoy the same flavored tea. It could all be green tea. But how do we get it so people are like, oh, yes, this is for me, right? You need to really understand who that person is, what their goals are, what their frustrations are, what makes them, what are their personal values. These are the type of pieces that we want to uncover. And this is so, so key, right? If we are targeting our product, let's say our esoteric product, we're talking astrology, we're talking, moon signs and all that, to someone who is completely not interested in that, you're not going to get any clicks. They're going to walk right by you in the grocery store. They're not going to buy from your website because it doesn't connect with them. At the same time, if you are getting that in front of the people who are very into that world, buy, they're going to be all over it because they're like, oh, this brand gets me. So we really need to do that upfront work to understand our audience. All right. So who is our audience? This is such a key piece. I have people that hire me literally just to look at who their target audience is because they know it is such an important piece of their business. And they know that, heck, I can go and blow a whole bunch of money online trying to advertise to people. But if I don't know exactly who is going to buy my product, I'm going to blow through a lot of money. And that is not what we want to do. We want to be able to be as specific as possible so we can speak directly to the wants, the needs, the problems, the goals, the frustrations of our very, very specific audience. All right. So I want you guys to think about that. And now I know some of you might be like, great, fantastic, Ainsley. I recognize my brand maybe isn't as strong as it could be. And what am I supposed to do in the meantime? I can't do a rebrand overnight. I totally get it. So number one, if you feel that your brand is not connecting strongly with your audience, this is something to consider for those 2024 goals. How do I maybe rebrand to make it really strong so that someone can see it and immediately be like, this is for me or this isn't for me, right? And then in the meantime, or if you're like, no, I feel like I have my brand look, but I'm not, connecting it enough throughout what I'm doing, then, what we can do in the meantime and what you can do in that situation is really start to just really go deep on the pieces that are true with your audience, right? Like, don't be vanilla about it. If your brand has stances on views of the world, on exactly who it's for, even if it means other people are going to be like, oh, that's not for me, that's okay. That's actually where you want to be, right? I'll give you an example from my own life. When I had my black coffee company, as I mentioned yesterday, it was targeted only to people who drank their coffee black. And I would call out, don't you dare ruin our coffee with cream or sugar or whipped cream or anything else that you're going to put in it. And I was very bold in that. And if you put cream or sugar, anyone who's in Canada, there is this thing called Double Double that we have up here from Tim Hortons, very popular drink. And, if you were a Double Double drinker and you got my ad, you'd be like, oh my gosh, no, how I drink my coffee is totally fine. What are you talking about? Great, it's polarizing to them. It is not connecting with them. That's fine. You want to be polarizing because then on the flip side, the people who do drink their coffee black, they're like, heck yes, this brand gets me. Great. Again, could both people enjoy this coffee? Absolutely. But because it was polarizing, because it actually had a stake in the ground, there's a group of people who are like, yes, this is for me. But we can't be vanilla in our messaging if we want people to connect with us. So if we're not in the position to do a rebrand right now, or if rebrand is happening in 2024 and you're like, how do I start making the most of this right now? This is what I want you to look at. I want you to look at what stakes does your brand put in the ground and lean into those, right? If you are all around premium, sophisticated experiences, lean into that across everything that you do. Speak to that. Speak to how this elevated experience makes everything better, right? Really lean into that. And then from your messaging perspective, from your imagery perspective, and you can start to look at everything else that your business does. And am I also communicating that there? If you're all about premium and sophistication, is how you show up to vendor partners the same way, right? Those co-packers, distributors, brokers, our retail partners, they all should be getting an extension of our brand as well, all right? And I want you to look at that. Maybe you want to look at how is your customer service operating? How are your deliveries? How is your unboxing experience? How is my website? But really figure out what is it that my brand is going to stand for, and then have that come through every single aspect of what you're doing. Even if you do need a facelift in your business, then, even if that's not happening till later on, you can start to do those pieces now, right? So you can start on that. Maybe you need to, do a rebrand next year. That's fine. A lot of people end up having to do that, especially I talk about this a lot, and I'll dive into it later on this week, of this like just for now branding or playing to win branding. Sometimes we go out with a brand that is okay just for now, but we don't really feel like 100% confident about it. And that actually reflects how you go out and try to sell it. Because if you don't feel 100% confident, then it's difficult for you to really get behind it. And it is also really difficult for retailers to get behind it too, and for our co-packers, and for our distributors, and for our brokers, because they know that brands are what sell, not necessarily the product behind it. You can have the best tasting product on the market, but if you don't have a brand that connects with people, people don't get a chance to actually experience that. So especially if you're at the beginning phases, your brand is incredibly, incredibly important, because that is what's going to get people to buy it that first time, right? After they taste it and after they get the value from it, they're like, oh, I'm hooked. I'm back. I'm coming back all the time, right? But that first purchase, they are either going into a new category, maybe they've never bought anything like this before, or they're giving up something that they know to try what you are offering. And they're going to do that with a brand that they really trust, that connects with them, right? So, if you have to do a new rebrand, there's lots of different ways you can do this. It doesn't need to cost tens of thousands of dollars. What you do want to make sure is that you have a really strong brand strategy and foundation behind it, which the Food Brands That Sell course does go through all of that in terms of how do you actually really know your brand strategy and how do you bring that to life. There's also in there, like, how do you go and brief a designer, right? So that you can take that to designers and make sure that they are getting your brand essence from it, right? Also, if you're in the inner circle, this is a piece too where we take a look at your brand packaging with you all the time in there as well too. If you're doing any rebranding, this is a place where you can get feedback on it, get expert eyes on it to make sure that it, number one, looks great, yes, but more importantly, it looks great and it's going to sell, right? And make sure that it connects with your target audience, because we can have something that looks fantastic, but if you are trying to target a specific audience and that brand does not connect with them, then you either need to shift your audience or it's not going to work with the audience that you're trying to go after, right? So we look at all those things as a place for you to get ongoing feedback with that, to make sure that you are having a food brand that sells, right? So knowing our exact audience is a really, really key piece for understanding our brand. So that will be today's homework. I want you to go out and I want you to learn something new about your audience, right? I want you to go and learn what their values are. What are they interested in? You know, is there a specific flavor that they really love? Where do they shop? How do they get news? Where do they get social media? I want you to get curious about something and go and engage with your audience and go learn something about them. This could be, you could do a poll on social media. You could do an email blast. Heck, you can pick up the phone and call one of your customers. This is something I used to have brands that I worked with one-on-one do on like a monthly basis, is call their best customers and talk to them. Hey, this is the founder of this company. You know, thank you so much for being a customer. Could I just like ask you a few questions about why you love the brand so much? And like, they're like, oh my God, like the founder is calling me. This is amazing. All of a sudden they have this huge connection and they're just going to like, more often than not, they just blah, 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 like vomit up so much information. That's just a well of information that you had no idea, right? We did this with a coconut water company. It was the pink coconut water, which is from a specific region. You will have pink coconut water, and it actually goes to show the freshness of it. And it was so interesting speaking with these core customers who were buying like crazy compared to everyone else. What the founder actually learned is that those people were actually using it for a specific health reason, which he actually had no idea that that was even a thing. But there was this group of people who were very aware of the benefits of pink coconut water, and they were focused on having this on an ongoing basis to help them with their health concerns, right? So sometimes you just don't know until you talk with people. And so I really want to encourage you guys to do that for your homework today. And as you are thinking about your brand, I want you to really just remember that the more you can put a stake in the ground about what your brand is about, the stronger connection you are going to have. In today's world, vanilla gets overlooked all the time, right? People are wanting to connect with brands and ideas that are aligned to them, right? So this is why we can have a brand like Smart Water do exceptionally well. And we can also have a brand like Liquid Death do exceptionally well. They're both water. They're both water, right? And I love this example because it's like the simplest thing. It's water. Both wildly successful brands. Who they market to, completely different. How they package, completely different. Where they sell, different. Their pricing strategy, different. Their marketing, different. All because they are so aligned to who their brand is. And we want to get that. I know sometimes it is easy to be like, well, everyone's going to love my product. But the more you can hone in on that one specific audience, the more success you are going to have, right? There are 340 million people in America, right? At 40 million in Canada. I know most of the people here are in Canada and the US. It's a lot of people. Not everyone is going to be the same. So even if you get a small group of those people, if you get 1%, if you get 0.5% of either of those markets, that is a lot of people that can be connected in with your brand, right? So that, you know, if that's 0.5%, I'm bad at math. Let me get my calculator here. That is 1.7 million Americans. Great. You can get 0.05% of the population, 1.7 million people. They're probably going to buy your product more than once, right? Not a lot of people, actually. In Canada, you know, that's 200,000 people, I believe. Got 40 million, 5%, 200,000 people. Great, 200,000 people. Imagine all those people bought your product twice in a year. If that's a $7 product, if that's, even if they buy you product once, right? 200,000 Canadians, they buy your product once, there's $1.4 million, right? In America, oh, I put an extra zero. That's, sorry guys, doing this live on the fly with you here. That's almost $12 million, right? You don't need to be for everyone. You don't want to be for everyone. You can be for a very, very small group of people and focus in so hard on them and only them. And your brand will become a lot more successful than if you're trying to be for everybody. There is an abundance of buyers out there, right? An abundance of people just waiting for a product like yours, but they're only going to get your brand and connect with you if you're really, really specific. And if what we talked about yesterday, you solve that problem for them really clearly and you get in front of them, right? They got to know you exist. They have to know that you exist. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to find you and buy you. Part of them knowing that you exist is having a brand that connects with them and really, really stands out, all right? So I want you guys to focus on that for right now, for today. I want you to think about that. How is my brand showing up to a party? You know, what are the values that my brand has and how do I reinforce those across every single thing that my business does, right? Having a brand is such a key piece. And so I want you to think about that. And then I want you to go and learn something about your audience, okay? Go and learn something. There'll be a thread inside the Facebook group. You can go and comment on there. Again, commenting in on the Facebook posts will enter you into the daily prize, and then showing up every day for the week will enter you into the opportunity to win 6 months inside the Food Founder Inner Circle. Actually, for the Food Founder Inner Circle too, we kick off in January. It goes till June. Our January session, the very first session that we'll be doing, will be a deep dive into your brand and into your business. So this will be really, really key. If you are in the Food Founder Inner Circle, you will have that. And then also within that, you get the Food Brands That Sell course that also dives into how to really build a really strong brand around your values, around what the market wants, and how do you connect with designers to make sure that they are really building out a really, really strong brand for you. So that is it for today, guys. I want to read about your brands. Feel free to share a bit about your brands in the chat too, in the chat or in the Facebook group. And tomorrow we are going to be diving into how do you get your product sold into more stores? How do we get retailers to say yes to what it is that you are selling more often? What we talked about today, our brand is a piece of that. So I want you to take this with you into tomorrow. And we're going to be diving into some other pieces that is going to help you get more connection with retailers, make it so they don't ghost you. I know that happens so much in this industry that they just don't even reply to you. We're going to make sure that they're replying to you and that they are putting your product on the store shelves. All right. That is it, guys. I'm just going to take a look real quick in the comments here, see if there's anything here. Okay. Julie did a rebranding once our products moved from our initial premise and didn't make sense anymore. Yeah. You know, sometimes it makes sense. At a certain point, you're like, okay, this brand doesn't work anymore, right? Benefited from a brand audit. Yeah, brand audit, so key. That really helps. Really, really great here. Yes, awesome. And let me just check over on Facebook. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything that you guys have over on there. Again, this is where I do it live. I want to answer your questions. If you guys have any questions right now, feel free to throw it in the chat. Otherwise, we can wrap up and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cool, perfect. Great. Awesome. Okay, guys, that is it. Have a beautiful Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be talking about how to get more retailers to say yes to putting your fantastic products on the shelf. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.